Well, from our NFL segments this week, we have Jake's XFL Xpert update on what is new in XFL news before the season this year.
Well, to warm people up to the XFL, I thought I'd spend the first couple weeks kind of explaining who we have guiding these football teams, guiding these 8 teams in the XFL. So I want to kind of give you some background to the coaches this week.
So today is coaches.
Today will be coaches. Next week will be quarterbacks. And I found out that while doing this, I realized why Paul wanted to be the AAF guy, because this is actually pretty fun.
It's exciting, getting ready for something like this.
So, without further ado, your XFL Xpert TM is here to tell you all about the XFL coaches. First, I want to start with Dallas. And Bob Stoops will be helming the Renegades, and he is the first coach / GM hire of the XFL. Of course, most of us know him here because Nebraska was in the Big 12. Oklahoma used to be the rival, because you're an Iowa State fan, Paul. He coached there. He led the Sooners to 10 Big 12 titles and a national championship in 2000. Only coach in the BCS era to win the Fiesta, Rose, Sugar, and Orange Bowls. And after 18 seasons with the Sooners, he was 198-48. Very impressive. And then we moved to L.A., which is kind of a lesser-known name, kind of surprising. Of all these coaches, Bob Stoops is the biggest name. Next, we have Winston Moss for the L.A. Wildcats. He started coaching in 1998. He's been an assistant coach / linebackers coach for the Packers from 2007 until 2018. I think he was the first coach to be let go last year when the Packers kind of just cleaned house.
Yeah.
But he, being a part of that staff, he was a part of the Super Bowl 45 team, so he knows greatness, and he's worked with, Rodgers and all that, but he's a defensive guy. So what does it matter? He was floating around for possible NFL jobs before L.A. snatched him up. Now we're going to New York Guardians. Kevin Gilbride, a long career in the NFL, over 40 years of coaching experience. He mostly was partnered with Tom Coughlin for that whole run that Coughlin was at the Giants. He was the OC for both those Super Bowl wins with Eli and retired in 2013 after that garbage fire year. So he gets the biggest market. He probably has the most experience of all these coaches. Battlehawks really shot for the stars on this one. They got Jonathan Hayes. This is his head coaching debut. But, if you're going to start head coaching, why not start in the XFL, right? He was a tight end coach for 16 years with the Bengals. He was one of the first hires that was brought in from Marvin Lewis in 2003. And before that, here's some connections, folks. He was the tight end coach with Oklahoma from 99 to 2002. So he was on that national championship.
So I got to stop you here.
National champion staff.
Is this the largest jump in coaching resume?
I think.
Do you go, well, hold on. No. Cliff Kingsbury went from fired at Texas Tech to hired at USC and left for Arizona, or becoming an XFL head coach after being Marvin Lewis's tight ends coach.
Hey, I will
for 15 years.
I think you're leaving out John Harbaugh.
If you are a tight ends coach for 15 years, I think you're at your ceiling.
Hey, John Harbaugh.
You would be an OC.
John Harbaugh was a special teams coach before he became a head coach at the Ravens. So anything's possible.
That's still a coordinator.
I guess
there was two. The Bengals head coach this year was the quarterbacks coach in L.A. before he was the hired, and
but he was a young.
Miami
That's
Dolphins.
A McVay hiring.
And Miami Dolphins head coach was a linebacker coach before he was a head coach.
That's Belichick hiring.
Isn't it Zach Taylor? Isn't it Zach Taylor?
Zach Taylor was the quarterback
he was
coach.
The Nebraska quarterback.
Not the wife beater, Zach Taylor.
No, the Nebraska quarterback.
Okay. Different football coach, Zach Taylor.
Former Husker.
We need less generic names.
Yeah. So we're moving to Tampa Bay. You guys might know this name, Packer fans. Mark Trestman.
I love that name. I'm sorry if you're a Tampa fan, though, because I loved playing against that name. He has almost identical stats to Nagy as the Bears head coach.
Yeah, head coach of the Bears for 2 seasons, back 2013 to 2015. He won back-to-back, but that's not the thing we were looking at here. I'm hoping Tampa Bay gets the Canadian football version of Mark Trestman and not the NFL version.
Not the Jay Cutler version.
Yeah, because in Canadian football, he won back-to-back Grey Cups. That's their championship. He also won 2 CFL Coach of the Year awards, and combined with the NFL and the CFL, he has a 90-73 record, 7-3 in the playoffs, and that 7-3 record is only in Canadian football.
Well, the XFL is using American football regulation, like field lines, right?
Yeah.
And rules.
Not 12 people.
It's like saying, Royce White was a Canadian basketball MVP.
All right, 3 more teams.
Yeah, Canadian end zones are 20 yards long, or 20 yards.
See,
Man, wouldn't that be nice?
I knew you couldn't be a Vipers fan. I knew because when you saw Mark Trestman, you're like, no thanks.
Hold on, Brandon. I'm genuinely asking this because I don't know the answer. If it's 20 yards, is the field goal post in the exact center of the end zone?
I honestly
it's
don't
on
know.
The goal line.
Oh man,
I don't know. It's probably I would assume it's on the goal line.
I wish it was like when you see
That would
videos.
be hilarious.
When you
though,
see videos
yeah.
of Paul Hornung from the 1950s running under the field goal.
Remember when the Packers played in Canada this past summer, and that was a debacle?
No.
They
Yeah,
played
the preseason.
Yeah, I
Raiders,
don't
yeah.
want. Yeah, no.
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 This
All
is
right, moving
horrible.
on. Final 3 teams here.
Embarrassment.
Houston. I don't remember their name. Might have been the Outlaws. No, Roughnecks. Houston Roughnecks. June Jones. This is the 8th and final hire for the XFL. He's most known for his pass-happy offenses at Hawaii and SMU. Colt Brennan, if you remember that, when they went to his Sugar Bowl appearance. He had some time in the CFL, but he's most known in college where he was 76, not 67. 76-41 with 3 bowl wins. Did have a Sugar Bowl appearance, but did not win that. He also served as an interim head coach for the Chargers. And now we got the Seattle Dragons, a local Seattle legend. This is who they went for. Jim Zorn, short-lived year coaching in the NFL with the Redskins in 2008, but he's more known as the Seahawks franchise quarterback. He was the first Seahawks quarterback. He was their team MVP. He was a big deal there. But he has had a long career coaching other places as a quarterback or offensive assistant. The Seahawks from 2001 to 2007, the Ravens in 2010, and the Chiefs from 2011 to 2012. And finally, the DC Defenders have Pep Hamilton. I think he's the youngest and probably the most interesting. Coached Andrew Luck as a QB coach at Stanford. He was paired with Luck again from 2013 to 2015 as the offensive coordinator for the Colts. He has been coaching since 1997 in both college and NFL, and he was most recently an assistant under Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, which does not mean very well for him because
I'll tell you if you said
Michigan-
John Harbaugh.
Michigan's not been great offensively the last few years. But, yeah, those are the coaches for the XFL. I think big name is obviously Bob Stoops. A lot of interesting choices. Surprisingly going more of a CFL route. I don't know about that, but we'll see. So now you know who are leading your teams, and then next week we will get the signal callers.
Thank you, Jake. Next week, quarterbacks from the XFL.
Exciting time.